Today, I'm working with Dennis Crommentuijn-Marsh. Thank you very much for joining me in Uncommon Sense.
My pleasure. Always lovely to see you, Suze.
Thank you. We're going to start off today talking about AI for smarter problem solving. Now, I don't know how many of our audience are already starting to use AI problem solving, but I know you've been doing a lot of work around this. And so the idea is for you to share some of your insights. And I guess stimulate the thinking would be fantastic.
So I was working with a client about 6 months ago. So this was when AI was becoming mainstream globally. And we went to Gamba and we saw a very specific engineering problem. The part in question came from overseas. It had to travel overseas by ship and was exposed to the elements. By the time it arrived within their factory site, it of course had some weather damage. So what they'd done, they put a protective coating on it. But the protective coating had then to be removed, which was very laborious, and therefore they said it's another way of solving this problem of having a weather protected part. So we did the classic in this case, which is TRIZ. So TRIZ, for some of you who know this, is Theory of Inventive Problem Solving, 1946 by a gentleman called George Altshuler. And so we applied that. But with about 12 brains in the room, we still got stuck. So I thought, hey, why don't we run an experiment and let's stick this in an AI model. So we used one of the more popular AI models that was available at the time, and we got some answers, but it was drawing it from very generic solutions, not specifically tailored, and it was not using TRIZ, even though we told it used TRIZ. So it wasn't clean. So after the workshop in the evening, sometimes I have spare time in the evening, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to build an AI agent. So that evening, I looked in our repository that we have on our SharePoint of all the knowledge we have around TRIZ, because we've written a lot of content on this, uploaded into an AI agent, and gave it a structure. So I want you first to ask this, then ask that, and then come up with a potential solution. So within a couple of hours, I had got a working model, with some PDSA. We then fine-tuned it. And it came up with some astonishing alternatives that we hadn't thought about in the room. So the next day I went back to the room and says, hey, I just want to showcase you something that I did last night. What do you think? And it was amazing to see some of the jaws dropping when they saw the solutions and they said, hey, this is amazing. Some of them not practical, not workable, but some of them we definitely may have here a business case where we can go and test these out. So that was a very positive example about how to use the creation of an AI agent rather than just a generic
Yes.
AI model for following a prescribed set of steps, a process, and then making sure the AI agent asks you, this is what I need, this is what I need next, and therefore, are you okay for me now to proceed with a diagnosis? So you build some checks in it, some how do you call it? Some gates?
Like gates, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes, similar to a gate
So you
system.
built in some gates, some checkpoints. Yeah, that's the one. So you build in some checkpoints within the model, and as long as you then with the model in the conversational style that you have, give it the right prompts on these checkpoints, you get an answer.
I'm just going to just clarify one thing for the um, audience, and I know many of you will absolutely be with Dennis so far on everything he said, but there will be some people who are not necessarily familiar with the concept of an AI agent. So could you just give a brief summary of the difference between an AI agent compared to generic AI?
Fantastic question. I will give you my description, which may
Yes.
not be the official description, The main differences between a generic AI model and an AI agent is that a generic model will draw on the generic knowledge in the wider world, in the wider environment, which could also be limited to your own organization, but it will draw from anything it can find or scrape. Whereas if you create an AI agent, you can say, I'm going to give you very specific sets of information, of instructions, which are written in a very specific format, and templates are now quite abundant how to write these scripts. And therefore the agent will only focus on the knowledge contained within that model. The other part about an AI agent is that you can also tell it, I want you to follow a certain sequence of steps in terms of how we converse with each other around this particular topic, problem, or challenge. And then what you can do, you can even evolve then the agent to have logic built in with logic trees and coding, where you can make it more and more advanced. Is it an engineering problem? Is it a process problem? Is it, is it in which part of the world? Is it a green belt? Is it a black belt? What tools do you want me to use? Parallel, lateral, trees, generic creative thinking. So you can have all these prompts pre-built, and therefore also to tell the agent, follow a certain route now to answer that specific question. So an AI agent, so in summary, TLDR, in summary, an agent gives you a way of controlling the information you put into it, but also controlling the flow of thinking, and therefore the output that you're going to get out of it.
So, with that in mind, do you see a world in the future where organizations, I'm going to use some simple examples like somebody who's doing root cause analysis, let's say, would use an AI agent that had been populated, say, with all of PMI's methods for how to approach a root cause analysis, how to generate the diagram, and the AI agent will talk them through that. So instead of, let's say, looking at a how-to guide or a frequently asked question that they might have on our website, for instance, they'll have an AI agent that will absolutely take them through using a tool in a group of people and so on.
Absolutely, yes. A perfect example, Suze. So, of course, we are experimenting actively with what we've called the Greenbelt Coach, which will be unsurprising to those who know about us in terms of course, leading the knowledge within our field. I've been experimenting with an AI agent around a specific topic. It's called the PMI Greenbelt Coach, where we've loaded up the body of knowledge. And what we're increasingly doing within that, back to your root cause analysis, is to write specific scripts based on my 25 years of experience. This is what a good one looks like. This is what a bad one looks like. And therefore, these are the things we now would have as recommendations. So by structuring the information in such a way that the AI agent can extract effectively from my knowledge, the AI agent can guide and diagnose, of course, a real problem.
Yes. It still needs the human interface. The human still needs to say what the problem is. So it's not, because this is the concern many people have, isn't it? Is it's going to do the work for me? Well,
the
not
shape,
exactly.
no, it will not do the work for us yet. So at the moment, at least with the AI agents that I'm working with and also with problem solving, even today, it's about the prompt. It's about the language that you use to instruct the agent and to go away and do something on your behalf. So the skill of what they call prompt engineering is definitely now a recognized skill and one that's worthy of testing and fine-tuning. And the other thing around this topic, which is fascinating, is that each AI agent has a slightly different way of wanting to be treated, and therefore how they respond to what you provide as a prompt to it. So there's also a diversity in these AI models, how you talk to it, how it will talk back to you, and also how it then gives you the output. So there's a lot of learning to be done. But coming back to your point about my job will change, your job will change, the jobs of our listeners will change, guaranteed.
Of course.
And perhaps the job will change probably in two ways. One, the knowledge that we have implicit, there'll be now a movement to make it more explicit, codify the explicit knowledge and upload that explicit knowledge into an agent. So the agent therefore can take a part of your job and do it on your behalf based on your instructions. The second part of your job that will change is that you now will become a manager of digital labor. So instead of having, human employees, you may well have a host of AI agents that you look after, or the interaction between different agents, and you become the link pin between them until they figure out how to talk to each other, and then you manage that. So you become a manager.
The
Yeah,
beauty of this is that it has the potential, going back to the problem solving, it has the potential to be the aid for anybody and everybody. So the call
yes,
center user who hasn't spent 25 years working in this field will be able to use a problem solving agent to help support them in a certain scenario. And that's fantastic. Those
yes.
levels of opportunities are amazing.
Absolutely right, Suze. It is democratizing knowledge. And it's democratizing knowledge to by the point of access, we are lowering the threshold. And as long as they can describe the problem, they don't need to know how to solve it. The AI agent will do the solving. So that bit in the middle, the black box in the middle, is taken care of. So they take the output and then they can use their human capacity, their human knowledge, experience. Which of these solutions is worthy then of testing and which ones they discount?
Looking forward to this world. It's an exciting world that we're entering into with all sorts of possibilities for new technology, but also for learning ourselves.
Absolutely, yes. I'm very excited too by this.
Hey, thanks ever so much, Dennis. Really great talking to you.